This is Mick Jenkins. You watching Hot New Hip Hop. Check out my new EP, Waves, everywhere. I'm Mick Jenkins from the south side of Chicago. I've been writing for a very long time, and making music is just what I figured out that I love to do. I wanted to do a lot of things in my life in general. First, I wanted to be a lawyer, and I was at a high school with that was like a law academy, you know what I'm saying? I did like mock trials in the city and even had an internship at the federal building in Chicago, but it just wasn't what I thought it was gonna be. It was a lot less exciting than I thought it was gonna be. At the same time, I was still writing poetry. Writing was just what it was for me. So even like I left school and went back to Chicago and started doing copywriting for a marketing firm. And like running a little bit of their social media. But I was doing that while I was rapping, and like rapping it then began to be like too much to do while I was working. So I just left the job, and like right around the time I was releasing Trees and Truths, that was when I made the decision, like, yo, I'm just being a rapper. Like, I'm gonna do this. In general, just my influences stem from my parents. Like my father listened to contemporary gospel, you know, Fred Hammond, or maybe you don't know, Fred Hammond, John P. Key, like Vicky Yohe, like different gospel artists. That's really all he listened to. And my mother listened to a lot of neo soul. So that's where my biggest musical influences come from. I still listen to a lot of that music today because I don't listen to a lot of music. I don't listen to a lot of new music. I'm not searching for new artists at all. I just kind of like listen to what I listen to, and then my friends, my manager, the people who are close to me, like, that's who I allow to shape any new music that's coming in. You know what I'm saying? I've been blessed to find Esperanza Spalding, James Blake. You know, I fuck with a couple Gold Link joints, but I don't really, even Jill Scott's got a new album out right now that she's one of my favorite artists, and I just haven't had time to check out the album, you know? So I'm just super used to listening to the same old music. I did listen to Pimp a Butterfly, Earl shit, and Chance's album as well. Yeah. Waters was a focus on making sure that the sound was cohesive. I think Trees and Truths, while it was a very good tape, production was all over the place. There was trap, there was jazz, there was some mellow beats. You know, it wasn't a sound, it was just a concept. And I wanted to have that concept be continued, but also make a concerted effort at creating a sound with Waters, and that was what we did. I think a lot of that music sounds like it's underwater. It's very similar. It creates a feel, and with Waves, we wanted to delve into that more, right? So we would make a record for Waters and then doctor it to fit the concept. But with Waves, we were making the records based on how we feel and leaving it just like that, you know? We were going back for post-production, but we weren't really changing the sound or the vibe or the message or the direction for the song based on any concept, because I just wanted to be concept free. It gave me a lot more room to just do exactly what I was feeling, and that's how we were coming into the studio. What are you feeling like today? What are you feeling like today? Well, I feel like this, you know. I had a fresh relationship at the time. That's where songs like Your Love or The Giver, 40 Below, that's where the inspiration for those things come from. And the production really was an alley-oop for me to be able to do that, for sure. I've been done with the actual words and recording of Waves since like April. So since then, I've been working on the album, which will be called The Healing Component. Very extensive, very conceptual. I think people will hear a lot more of what they've come to love about Mick Jenkins and the rapping, and then just a more polished version of what they got in Waves, which is definitely just an experimental phase for me. And meshing all of that together to make this bigger concept come to life. This ain't shit, really. Waves ain't really shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Waters took me a year and some change to write. I did Waves in 2 months, you know? And that's just, I really want people to think about that. You know, Waters was music that I created and then changed to fit and make a concept come home and be understood. And Waves is really just like pure feelings, even though the content didn't really change. And being able to mesh those things together to create something with an even bigger concept than Waters, you're unprepared.